This is the Jenny McCarthy Show on Sirius XM Stars.
It's lady talk.
Welcome back to the Jenny McCarthy Show. I'm Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. I'm so excited to welcome him back, Noah St. John, in his new book, Power Habits, the new science for making success automatic. Hi, Noah.
Hey, Jenny, great to be back with you.
I know. I'm very excited to hear about your new book. What led you to write this one?
Well, you know, Jenny, I've been doing this for over 20 years, over two decades. I started my college dorm room in 1997 with $800 and a book on how to do HTML. And since that time, you know, we've helped people make millions of dollars, but also overcome addiction and quit smoking and just really grow their businesses and lots of things like that. So people kept saying to me, hey, Noah, I hear you're the guy that everybody goes to after they go to all the gurus out there and they're still stuck. I hear you're the guy that helps people double, triple their business. I hear you're the guy that everybody helps, that you help everybody to get unstuck. And so can you just help me get unstuck? Can you help me get my goals faster? And so what I realized is I got to put all this in a book, you know, because I've been teaching this to my coaching clients for over 2 decades. And like I said, helping people make millions of dollars and have amazing results. So I said, you know what, I want to get into a very easy to understand, easily digestible, accessible book format that anybody can use so that they can understand and utilize and start to really use these power habits of unconsciously successful people.
Yeah, because we do hear, you know, from, you know, back in the days when The Secret was around, and Law of Attraction, and all these messages that they almost turn into mixed messages and overwhelming. And no wonder why people have come to you saying, I'm still not gaining success. What am I doing wrong? What was that collective block that most people have?
Well, you know, you mentioned, it's so funny you mentioned The Secret because, you know, everybody in that movie is good friends of mine. And so, you know, what they said in The Secret was really well packaged, which is if you just think about money, then money pours in from the ceiling. I'm like, great. I don't know what planet that works on, but it's not the planet Earth, you know, because on the planet Earth, we have to do this annoying thing called work, right?
That's right.
You know,
Action.
But that doesn't sell, right? What sells is, hey, just think about money. And of course, it's like, oh, no wonder they sold 30 million DVDs. And I'm not speaking out of school because, like I said, everybody in that movie knows the whole
Exactly.
deal. But
I bought a case, so I get it. Yeah.
And so I literally have people at my live events or when I'm doing keynote speeches, you know, or at my own live events have an event called Freedom Lifestyle Experience. And, you know, it's a 2-day transformational event. But what people come up to me, they say, hey, Noah, I watched The Secret 37 times and I'm still not a millionaire. I'm like, I wonder why, you know, I'm not kidding. And it's funny, but sad. It's like, okay, we got to do this thing called inner game and outer game work. Inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you can't see directly, but it affects everything that you do. And then we also have to have the outer game strategies, right? The systems, you know, all the marketing
They're
and
putting
sales.
it into action.
Exactly. Right. So it's kind of like a house, right? A house has 2 components, right? It has the outer component, which is what you see on the outside. It's like, you know, oh, there's a house. But without the inner game, it's like electricity. It's like having, you know, a building with no electricity. Then it's like, it's a little bit cold in there in the wintertime, a little too hot in the summer. So it's like our lives or your business or, you know, your career, even your relationships or health. I mean, anything has that inner game and outer game component. And that's what Power Habits is really about.
So for the women and men that are listening that are like, you know what, there's so many more people that are wanting to start their own business. I know a handful of close friends that are just opening up their own like spas and stuff like that. But there's also people that are just scared or have a fear of success, a fear of failure.
That's right.
What do you say to those people that have that desire, but that are too afraid to take both feet off the island?
Right, absolutely. So first of all, have your friends call me. Have your friends email me. You've got all my contact info. Go to my website.
Read the book first.
Read the book.
That's what I'm telling them.
Go to noahstjohn.com and just contact me. That's number 1. Number 2 is you're absolutely right. So many people have what's so ironic is that they have the fear of success on one hand, but the fear of failure on the other. So it's really, they're totally stuck. And so what's so funny is what I've identified is what does stuck actually mean? Because, you know, that's another thing people say to me at my live events, my keynote speeches. They say, hey, Noah, I hear you're the guy that helps people get unstuck. What does that actually mean? And how can I get unstuck? And so what I heard this so many times, Jenny. I just heard it over and over and over again for the last, 2 decades. And so I finally broke it down. I said, what does stuck actually mean? And what it really means is 4 elements. There's time, energy, relationships, and money. Right, so you can be stuck in any of those areas. So when you have the time, the energy, the relationships, and the money that you really desire, that's when you're living what we call a freedom lifestyle. That's what we call our live events a freedom lifestyle experience, because I want people to have that experience. But the point is that you need to look at whether you are stuck in time, meaning are you saying to yourself constantly, man, I wish I could X, but I just don't have the time, right? And what I teach people all the time is that time isn't relevant, right? You, me, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, Warren Buffett, we all have the same 24 hours. It has nothing to do with time. Time is irrelevant. It's a great excuse. It keeps people stuck. But what I point out to people is, imagine you're going through your day and suddenly the phone rings and you get a phone call from a family member and they say, hey, you got to get to the ICU right now. Someone in the family is just in a really bad accident. You got to get over to the ICU. It's a real, emergency. And would you say to that person, ooh, I can't make it today. How's next Thursday?
No.
You know what I'm saying? So what I just proved is that time is not relevant. It's all about your systems.
Right. You're right. And it's amazing how many excuses that we can come up with ourselves, within ourselves, and justify them.
That's right. That's absolutely, and see, that's what I call your head trash, right? So that's a big, big reason why the Power Habit system is so powerful and transformational, because see, your head trash is the voice in your head that says, I can't do it because ... and then you just fill in the blank. And this is what we hear all the time in our live events and in my speeches, my keynote speeches, hey, Noah, I'd love to do this. Oh, I want to start my own business, but I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the education. I didn't go to the right college. I'm married. I'm divorced. I have kids. I don't have kids. I'm a Martian. I mean, whatever it is. And so we just hear these excuses all the time. But here's the key that I want everyone listening to this program to understand right now. This is really powerful. Everything after the word because is what you will fight to the death. Because you believe it. So you will defend your limitations to the death. And it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, right? Because we don't want these limitations, but we want to make ourselves right. We humans have an infinite capacity to make ourselves right. If you don't believe me, put a Democrat and a Republican in the same room and watch a political speech, right? And they're not watching the same speech. They're watching the same speech, but they're not watching the same speech. You follow me? A New York Yankees fan and a Red Sox fan watching a Red Sox-Yankees game. They're not watching the same game. Exactly.
We're attached to our own bullshit.
Exactly. You got it. And so I call it head trash, just to be polite. But yes, you're absolutely right. But the point is, your head trash is that voice in your head that says, I can't do it because, and whatever happens after the word because is exactly what you have to watch out for. I just proved to everybody listening to this program that time is irrelevant, that you have the time. It's not about time. See, this is a great quote that I want everybody to really pay attention to. This is so important. When I first heard this, I'm like, wow, that is so true. And that is, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. We don't, because we all have big goals, right? We all want, I want $1 million. I want an island in the Caribbean. I mean, and that's great. You want big goals. That's awesome. But the point is, without the systems, and that's why we call it, in the Power Habits book, I teach you about the inner game systems, which is, as I said, everything that happens between your ears. You can't see it directly, but it affects everything you do. For example, at my speeches or at my live events, I often say to my audiences, all right, now tell me one area where your beliefs don't affect you. And they go, and I go, exactly. Your beliefs affect everything, right? Your beliefs affect your health, your relationships, your finances, your business, your social, everything, right? There's no place your beliefs don't affect you, but you can't see them directly. You only see the effects of them. That's why it's so hard for people to change, because it's like trying to move the furniture in the room that's totally dark, right? You just can't see what you're doing. So that's why using the Power Habit system, people are able to get that to the surface level, to the conscious level, where you can actually turn the light on and go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was saying that to myself. And that's when you can make these transformational changes.
I cannot wait to read this book. I'm not kidding. I'm going to go front and back and call you and stalk you. Diagnose me. Okay, diagnose me in a situation, because I'm sure people can relate to this. So this is kind of like business I want to do. But this is how I feel. You ever walk in a room in your house or your whole house and it's a disaster and you're like, I got to clean. And you don't even know where to start because it's so messy.
Yes.
So then you wind up not cleaning, not doing anything.
And then
there's so many.
And you do something else. Exactly. I absolutely talk about that in the book, Jane. That's exactly right. That you just gave the definition of procrastination, right? Procrastination literally comes from the Latin word tomorrow. right? The procrast is actually from the Latin word tomorrow. So when you are procrastinating, you are tomorrowizing. Have you ever noticed that tomorrow is where 99% of all of our accomplishments live? I'll do it tomorrow, really.
Our diets,
Meanwhile, I'm watching
everything.
Netflix and, got it. Okay, cool. I'll just do it tomorrow. But again, see, we have, I call it the gap of good intentions. I really want to write that book. I really want to start my business. I really want to clean my house. I really want to lose weight, but I'll get around to it later. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm not here to beat anyone up, but I'm just saying, listen, once you have the systems in place, I know I keep saying it, but it's so important. Again, because we don't rise to the level of our goals, we sink to the level of our systems. So once you have the inner game systems and the outer game systems in place, then you can start to make those changes. So for example, one of the things you can do, and using your example, Jenny, about, cleaning the house, right? Something we can all relate to, right? And who enjoys cleaning a house? Not many people, right? Oh, this is fun. Can we clean the house now?
We like the effect.
Right, exactly. Right. That's right. So actually, but what's so funny is what that actually goes back to, in my book, I talk about the habit loop. The habit loop is 5 steps. The first step is a cue or trigger. That means you think about doing that thing you want to do, right? Like clean a house, write a book, start a business, whatever it might be. You think about doing it. That's the trigger. The second thing is the routine. It's what you do once the trigger is triggered. And for most people, it's like, I think I'll do something else, right? You think about that thing you want to do, and I'll do something else, right? You see what I mean? And why do you do that? Because we feel safe. That's the third element of the habit loop. We have to feel safe. See, the brain's job, the brain's main, and I'm talking about the lizard brain, the one in the back of the brain, not your frontal cortex, which is where higher thought processes happen, but in the back of the brain, its basic job is to make sure you don't die. That's literally its job, right? And so it's like, okay, I know, I'm not, it's just saying, okay, don't die today. Let's make sure we keep this person not dead. And what's a great way to be not dead? Don't go after something you're afraid of. Don't go after something that might hurt you, with quotes around it, right? Cause you pain, right? And then you have a craving for safety, and that, the brain has to feel safe. And then but here's the tough part is that fifth element, which is belief. Every one of us is carrying around a belief, and you know what the default human belief, and Jenny, I've taught this to literally tens of thousands of people all around this planet, all over the world, men, women, children, teenagers, CEOs, celebrities, athletes, working moms, people from all walks of life. And you know what the default human belief is? I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And that is, and guess what? When you start to keep saying to yourself, I'm not enough, it's I can't do it because. I can't do it because I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I can't do it because. You see what I mean? And it is that spiral that is so hard for people to get out of. That's why when you start to use my power habit system, people go, wow, and they just have incredible breakthroughs like doubling, tripling their income, starting a new business, writing their book, quitting smoking after 20 years. I mean, I just got an email from one of my clients, and he said, no, I've been trying to quit smoking, quit drinking for 17 years. I used your system in 60 days. I quit.
Is it the system in this book for quitting smoking too?
Well, yes, you can use it for anything. Because remember, what did I just say a moment ago? Where don't your beliefs affect you? Where don't your habits affect you? They affect everything. So whether you want to quit smoking, whether you want to attract the love of your life, whether you want to write a book, whether you want to start your business, grow your business, that's why we've helped so many people. That's why, Jenny, I'll help you get your business started. Get your friends over to me. We'll get them going. I mean, I've been on this. This is my 4th time on your show,
I know. I love it.
And you are right on this book. You are on this book. And, you were so sweet to give me such a wonderful testimonial. And it's such an honor to be back on your show again. And, hey, next time, make sure we're here together, right, in the studio.
You're good at what you do. I will say that. You're really good at what you do. And I know that more and more people want this,
Thank you.
And why is it that people sometimes have problems accepting money into their lives? Why is that when we all want it, but why do they have trouble accepting it?
You absolutely just said it. We humans want things that are like, we want more money, right? We want more time, more energy, better relationships, more money. What do those things actually represent? If you really boil it down, those things, they all represent one thing, and that is change. Change from your current situation, right? So if I make $1 million tomorrow, I change, right? If I lose 20 pounds, I change, right? So there's change. But guess what we fear? What is it we human beings fear? We fear change. So the very thing we desire is the very thing we fear.
So it's that same part of the brain you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. And that's why we've got to raise it to the conscious level, right? Because if it stays in the subconscious, you have literally no chance. In fact, that's where I got that analogy from that I shared earlier. It was actually from one of my coaching clients. And he said, Noah, doing this work with you, it's like you turned a light on in a room that had been dark my whole life. And I thought about it, I said, that's exactly what it's like. Because if you're trying to move the furniture in a room that's totally dark, work. You're going to just bang your shins. You can't even see what you're doing. Does that mean you're incapable of making change? Of course not. You can see when somebody turns the light on and go, oh, I didn't know the coffee table was right there. No wonder I keep banging my shins. So that's the whole point of well, not the whole point, but a big part of this power habit system is realizing that, wait a minute, we can make conscious choices, but the first step of transformation is always awareness. So you've got to become aware of what's holding you back. And that's, going back to your question about money, that's, of course, we all want more money, right? But there's so much head trash out there about that. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious. Like, money's bad, money's evil, rich people are mean, and right? All this head trash. No one, it's like if rich people are selfish and I want to be rich, well, I don't want to be selfish. So I guess I'll
true, because I grew up Catholic, and rich people were going to burn in hell.
Exactly. Hello, I grew up Catholic too, so I know exactly. I was in the same thing. So exactly right. It took me years and years to overcome that head trash about, wait a minute, I'm allowed to make money, and but that's why I want to save people years, by giving them the system that it took me 20 years to figure out.
I mean, you're so good at it, Noah St. John.
Thank you.
I'm going to take you up on it. I'm going to finish this book. Mm-hmm. I'm going to apply it to my, I have an autism after school program I want to start. So I'm going to read the book and then have you help me, and we'll have you back on and talk about the success.
And you call me, right? You're going to call me?
I'm going to call you, Noah St. John. I'm going to call you. Power Habits. I know you guys are buying it right now on Amazon. Power Habits, the new science for making success automatic. You can buy it probably where any books are sold.
And powerhabitsbook.com there.
Noah St. John, thank you so much. I'm taking you up on that offer.
Boom.
All right. I hope you come back soon. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back.
Check my nails.